Hey everyone, it's Randy Pearson, Vice President of Life and Annuities here at Gordon Marketing, and welcome to another edition of Selling Life and Annuities. And I'm with Craig Mira, our Life RVP, and today we're going to be talking about solving the long-term care problem for your clients. Stay tuned. Today, I was actually chatting with one of our advisors. I was having a conversation with him about our 2020 Life and Annuity Expo. And I mentioned to him that one of our guest speakers, one of our keynote speakers, is an expert in discussing the use of life and annuity products to solve the growing epidemic of Alzheimer's. And that, of course, segued into a dialogue about long-term care. And his perception of LTC was super expensive, hard to get, difficult to sell. And I mentioned, we've got some solutions to those problems in our world. And of course, that stimulated conversation with you, and we had a really interesting dialogue. So for the agents watching this video, can you help expound on how we in our industry, specifically the life insurance segment, can solve that long-term care dilemma?
So yes, you're absolutely right, Randy. The life insurance chassis can absolutely be a solution for a client's needs. And let's face it, everyone has been touched or knows someone's been touched by a long-term care circumstance within their life, whether that was a financial or just an emotional circumstance. It's touched everyone near and dear to us. So the conversation is one that's hot and carriers have listened, right? So they're building products now that are really designed to no longer be expensive, right? Hard to qualify for, and most importantly, hard to use, right? So the last thing you want to do is put your client into a product that later on down the road, they're now 75 years old and they go to utilize and they can't get either a qualified care or they don't qualify for the care that they want. And then we're in a situation that no one wants to be in.
Yeah. The advisor who I had on the phone earlier today used to sell a lot of LTC, and the biggest issue that he said that he has encountered over the years is the carriers increasing premiums and increasing the cost to the consumer. Do agents have to worry about that issue when it relates to utilizing a life insurance chassis to solve the problem?
No. In today's marketplace, we can put the long-term care or the chronic illness benefit on the chassis of our choice. So if we want to go with something that's guaranteed, we can put a guaranteed UL that you can tell the client your premium is X today and it's guaranteed to be that same amount of premium 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And to build upon that, the riders, the long-term care riders that are on these policies now, many, I would say many as in about 3 carriers, have a waiver of premium rider. So once that client triggers the benefit, no more premium is due.
Wow. Intriguing. So so you mentioned the use of these riders on a GUL, a guaranteed UL product. Can they be sold on like an IUL chassis or other product chassis?
Sure. So almost every life insurance policy, whether it's an accumulation IUL, protection IUL, or your vanilla GUL, is going to have some sort of either LTC or chronic illness benefit. So one of the big changes that have taken place within the industry is that now it's no longer a reimbursement. Almost every single carrier has gone to a cash indemnity style. So for our clients, what that means is no longer do we have to worry about receipts. We don't have to worry about being in a qualified facility. They simply, once they trigger the benefit and they hit the 2 of 6 activity of daily living, you're taking the handcuffs off of that old LTC reimbursement policy and simply cutting a check to the client, allowing them to get in-home care, go wherever they want for the care that they need.
What about tax consequences? I'm sure these payments can, over time in particular, be rather large. Is the consumer going to experience an adverse tax consequence from these benefits?
No, since we're pairing it with a life insurance policy, this is going to be a tax-free endeavor for the client on the back end as well.
Wow.
And I think the biggest thing too with the standalone long-term care, it was always use it or lose it. We're no longer having that conversation with the client. If for some reason they never end up needing a policy, they live a long, healthy life and never need care, then they still have a death benefit that's going to pass along to the beneficiary, unlike those old standalone policies.
And what about premium requirements? Is this can they pay for it on an ongoing basis, like monthly premiums, just like a traditional life policy?
Sure, they're getting more and more flexible. So if the client has some lazy money, say maybe it's under the mattress or in a CD or something that's really just not earning any interest, right? Then we can single premium into a number of different products on the linked benefit side. If they do not have a lump sum, right, and budgets might be a bit tighter, or they'd rather just pay on a monthly or annual basis, we can do that as well. And you know, the thing about the annual payment that I do like is you have to remember those 3 carriers that we spoke about have the waiver of premium rider. So if someone's 65 and are purchasing this policy, chances are in the next 10 to 15 years, they're going to have a qualifying event that's going to put them on claim, and then no further premiums due.
Yeah, I know when we started this video, I mentioned one of our keynote speakers for the Life and Annuity Expo. I was chatting with him, and he threw out some statistics during this recent conversation that something like 65% of American public over the age of 65 would have some type of an event in the future where they could utilize this kind of benefit, and yet only 1 out of 10 had any type of solution for the problem, coverage in place or whatever. What that says to me is opportunity, right?
Sure.
I mean, if an agent utilized this in their marketing and their client acquisition process, I think they could see some really dramatic results. Well, great information, Craig. Once again, Craig is our new, for 2020, Life RVP, and he's available to assist agents anywhere in the country in growing their life and annuity sales. I want to thank you for watching our this edition, I should say, of our video series, Selling Life and Annuities. Tune in every Tuesday for the brand new episode that will be kicking out, and be sure you give our videos thumbs up, make comments down there. If you want some more information on Life with LTC and what carriers offer those products, reach out to Craig at gordonmarketing.com, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.